I want to welcome you to the Town Board meeting of January 20th. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilman Baisley is out of town, so he won't be here tonight, but roll call.
Bill Carlos, Second Ward.
Mike Cassafone, Ward.
Joe Conti, Third Ward.
You see everything.
Joe Lepore.
Oh, sorry, I was waiting for you, Mike. Joe Lepore, Fifth Ward.
Ann Churchian, Sixth Ward.
Todd Tancredi, Supervisor.
Alicia Salvatore, Town Clerk.
And James Nelson is present and accounted for. We have a couple public hearings scheduled on our agenda tonight. Public hearing number 1, though, is going to be adjourned until the February 2nd meeting. 17th, sorry, February 17th meeting.
Okay.
Is there anybody here that would speak to this public hearing? In case you came out, we could still hear your comments, but if not, I'm just going to make a motion to adjourn public hearing number 1 to February 17th.
I'll second that.
We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. And then we have our second public hearing is public hearing to discuss the Texas Roadhouse zoning map amendment. This is on Route 9 across from the IBM Country Club. It was IBM, now it's Faith Assembly. Make a motion on the public hearing.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone here to speak to this public hearing? This property was zoned industrial for a number of years. We left it that way. Office research actually is what it was initially. We left it that way for many years, hoping that we'd find another office research type use there. After, I don't know how long it was, probably a decade at least, it was, kind of a foregone conclusion that, that wasn't going to be a use that was going to come into the Spag Hill area on Route 9. So we are seeking to change the zoning to fit the parcels around it, which is Business Highway, and that will, assuming all goes well for Texas Roadhouse, allow them to put a restaurant there. So is there anyone here who would like to speak to this public hearing? I see no one. I make a motion to close public hearing number 2.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bill?
Resolution number 2. Be it enacted, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie held a duly noticed public hearing on the 20th day of January 2016 at 7 p.m. at the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Hall, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, to amend Town Code Chapter 210, Article 3, specifically Sections 210-11, which amendment proposes to change the zoning designation of 2323 South Road, tax parcel number 616103111047, as set forth in the attached amendment from OR, that's Office Research District, to the BH Highway Business District for a project known as One Page Park Texas Roadhouse. And be it further enacted that on November 19, 2015, the Planning Board, as the designated lead agency, issued a negative declaration for the proposed One Page Park Texas Roadhouse project. And be it further enacted that a written recommendation dated December 17, 2015 was received from the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development, and that said recommendation stated that the adoption of the herein zoning amendment is a matter of local concern, and be it further enacted that a written recommendation dated November 23, 2015 was received from the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board, in which said board recommended the adoption of the herein zoning amendment, and be it further enacted that the town clerk notify the clerks of the surrounding municipalities of the public hearing pursuant to GML, General Municipal Law 239NN, and be it further enacted that the legal notice of the public hearing was posted on December 30th, 2015, and published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on January 5th, 2016, And be it further enacted that said local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. I'd like to make a motion to open public hearing number 3, which is to place a historic designation on the Juliet sign.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone here to speak to this public hearing? Seeing no one, I make a motion to close public hearing number 3.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Joe?
Whereas the Historic Preservation Commission of the Town of Poughkeepsie has made a recommendation to the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie for the designation as a landmark of property located at 60 Raymond Avenue, Poughkeepsie, New York. And whereas pursuant to Chapter 126 of the Code of the Town of Poughkeepsie, a public hearing was held on January 20th, 2016 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Overrocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, concerning such designation, public notice being given for said hearing and all interested parties having an opportunity to be heard. And whereas said action is a Type 2 action pursuant to the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, such that no further environmental review is necessary, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie hereby designates the Juliet Theater sign located at 60 Raymond Avenue to be a historic landmark subject to the applicable rules and regulations found in Chapter 126 of the Code of the Town of Poughkeepsie, and be it further resolved that the Town Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to give the appropriate notification as required by the Town Code. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I don't know if you saw the note here. That is the original sign from when it first opened on January 6, 1938. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 77 years old. Town historian John Pinna wishes he could have been here tonight, but he teaches a class at Merritt's College on Wednesday nights, and tonight was his first class, so he thought that'd be pretty poor form for the professor not to show up for the first class. But yeah, we just want to make it clear that this designation is only for the sign. It doesn't encompass the rest of the building. And while the first vice president of Vassar College chose not to sign the application, they are not opposed to it. And when you think of Arlington, you think of the sign. It's just iconic.
yeah.
Yeah,
So if they took the building down for whatever reason, they'd have to put that sign back on top of the new building, I would think.
the sign's got to be there.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. I think that'd become a problem for Neil, so yeah, he'd figure it out.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. That brings us to the end of our public hearings. We don't have a very long agenda tonight, but I'll run through agenda items, and then we'll take questions on agenda items. Agenda item number 4 is to accept the retirement of one of our detectives in the police department. 5 is to authorize a budget modification in the police department. There's been a small change in how we're handling IT over there, or going to handle it. So we're going to move that money from the IT line back into temporary employee, temporary help line. And then 6 is, along with that, it's to appoint Ed Kohler, who was running our IT department under his own consulting business, to come back in as a employee of the town to run that IT for us. 7 is to appoint Yvonne Loeb to the Historic Commission. 8, we're going to adjourn. That we're not quite done with the Cablevision franchise agreement. Still some work to be done on that. So we're going to adjourn that just to a date. Do I have to have a certain date, Jim, or can I just adjourn that to a date?
No, it was the resolution to set the public hearing.
Yeah.
So whenever you bring it back, the public hearing will be probably 2 weeks.
Yeah, so we're just going to adjourn this to a future date. 9 is to consent Cablevision and Altus merged. Cablevision, we're not going to see any changes in the Cablevision operation, but this company, Altus, is merging with Cablevision, so technically they need us to, they need a resolution from us, Altus Group it's called, to approve the intent to merge. So that's number 9. 10 is the retirement of a longtime employee in our courts, a retirement from the state system, Barbara Ball. She's been with the town 45 years. Then 11 is to reinstate her beginning of February for a period of time to actually a clerk to the justice, so she's going to still work as a clerk to the justice in the town courts. 12 is to appoint Mr. Councilman William Carlos to as our Association of Towns delegate this year.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, yeah. Well, we'll see if it gets approved. 13 is this, we're going to set a public hearing date to declare an unsafe, actually, we still are, I'm sorry. We were going to, there was some discussion about adjourning that, but we are still going to, this is to set a public hearing date to declare a building on Vassar Road as unsafe. It's 51 Vassar Road. It's basically across from the Stewarts. 14 is to authorize the town clerk to advertise for our parks maintenance again. We've been bidding out our maintenance of our parks, and actually it also includes this building, our senior center, police court building. That's due to be bid out again. The 2-year contract in which we were operating has lapsed and expired. 15, we have one special consent. 15 is authorized special consent number 1, and that is authorization of the traffic control agreement with Dutch Community Colleges. If you remember, we'd been negotiating with them. We approved Marist some time back. We were looking for a small increase in that agreement, and we finally received the okay from Dutchess to move forward with that. So those are our agenda items. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for comment on agenda items.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone here who'd like to speak to an agenda item? Doreen?
So agenda item 13, the unsafe building, Vassar Road.
Yes.
I sent an email like about a month ago to
Yes,
Todd, and
yep.
you said you'd been working
Yes.
on it. So, I mean, are you still going forward with this? Because, I mean, the place isn't, at least
Yes.
at that point, it was in pretty bad shape.
Yes.
The windows, doors, there was a piece of fence in the road, the siding is hanging off.
Yeah, evidently what's happened here, we've been working on it for some time. I mean, probably at least 8 months. Probably sometime in the summer, it was all fenced off. They, as you said, removed the windows. Evidently what happened is the building has asbestos, and that tends to complicate things. And Wayne did a memo to the town board, basically outlined the issues, but evidently the asbestos company that won, the other one was upset, and they started bickering. The Department of Labor became involved. So it's been tied up there. Wayne seems to think the building owner's making a real effort to straighten this out, to allow us, or to have them, the building torn down. We don't want to do it if we don't have to. So, what we've thought, we've discussed this today, and initially, we were contemplating adjourn it, not adjourn it, but we're going to go forward and approve this. So we're teed up if we need to step in. I spoke to Wayne at 3 o'clock this afternoon, actually, and Wayne actually said, Wayne Seashon's our building inspector. He said that, he's going to clearly keep in contact with the owner. We start to see where, it doesn't look like there's progress being made, or they're kind of falling back. We'll be ready to go. But at this point, if we don't have to do the work, we'd rather not.
Right.
But we want to tee it up for.
Okay, because
for
it
that.
looks like there's been a lot of starting and stopping on this
Yeah.
project over the years, so.
I agree.
Okay. And then my other question is on 10 and 11.
Yeah.
I looked online. Why would somebody retire and then be reinstated at a salary of almost $60,000 if it's the same job, the court job?
Because she's of age. She's been here 45 years. Plus, she's
Tier 1.
Tier 1. So she can retire. She wants to retire and start collecting her retirement, but doesn't really want to quit, right now, or is willing to continue to work. And she basically runs, although she's Judge Sullivan's clerk, does a lot to help manage the courts. So she's going to come back, continue to work,
So it's the same job?
It's the same exact job, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically I said to her, you checked with the state, to the employee, you checked with retirement? She said, yes. I said, please check again. Comptroller Wadowitz called the state, I called the county, I called Dave Wise, our personnel. Said, look, it's a little quirky, I agree,
Yeah, I just
because
had never seen that
yeah,
before.
we don't have many tier ones, we don't have many 45-year employees. In this case, we do, and that's her desire. So from the town's perspective, our view, my view, and some of the council members' views, I think, is the fact that it's going to save us money because we won't be paying her retirement any longer. She's going to have to start contributing towards her medical. So the residents are going to get the same work at less expense, and she gets the benefit some too. All the money that she's paid in, she can start collecting on her state retirement. So
Okay,
felt like it was a win both ways.
all right, thank you.
Thanks, Doreen.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I see no one. I make a motion to resume the rules.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mike, I think we're up to
Resolved, the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the retirement of Kent Linderholm from the Town of Poughkeepsie Police Department effective end of business day, February 12th, 2013. We wish him well.
So
So moved.
Second.
a motion and a second. Any discussion? I agree with Mike. Detective Linderholm will be missed. We wish him well in his retirement. You know, one of the fortunate things in the police department, we've had some significant retirements over the last number of months, but I think we're very fortunate in the town. We have a great system where, you know, we have guys that are well-trained underneath some of these more senior people, and, you know, Captain Roman's in the audience tonight. He's a perfect example of, you know, someone who has been able to come up, you know, through the ranks. So we have a good source of training our people, and as very competent people like Detective Linderholm retires, we have people that step in their shoes. So
I think he's a detective sergeant.
he is Detective Sergeant, yeah.
He's also a Steeler fan, so I hope he's not retiring because they're out of the playoffs. So I hope it's on his own accord.
Okay. Resolution number 5.
Hold on. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Joe?
Okay, thank you. Resolution number 5, be resolved that the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby notify 2016 budget pursuant to attached budgetary transfer request from submitted by the comptroller to allow police to change IT strategy based on agreement termination as follows. From B3120-0481 contract service $58,000 to B3120-015 temporary employee $53,875, B3120-8011 Social Security $4,125. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the temporary part-time employment of Edward Culler, which employment will commence on February 1st, 2016 for the purpose of maintaining and analyzing the computer, communications, and related systems at the Town of Poughkeepsie Police Department at a total compensation not to exceed $30,000. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Number 7, be resolved that the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint Yvonne Loeb to the unexpired term of Robert Rubin on the Historic Preservation Commission through April 19th, 2020. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Yeah, I just want to say Yvonne is a really great candidate. You should have all received her resume, and that she's young and energetic, very interested in the history, and especially in the psychiatric center. And she's from the 5th Ward, and we haven't had anybody from the 5th Ward in quite a time. So,
Good.
Is the school board taking up all of Rob's time?
oh yeah, he resigned like a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. So number 8 is going to be adjourned. So Bill, number 9?
9. Whereas Cablevision of Wappingers Falls, Inc. provides cable television services to the town of Poughkeepsie pursuant to a franchise agreement approved by the Public Service Commission, and whereas the Altice Group has advised that they are intending they intend to merge with Cablevision Wappingers Falls. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby consent to said merger between Cablevision Wappingers Falls and Altice Group, and be it further resolved that the supervisor or his designee is authorized to execute any documents to effect this merger. So moved.
Second.
Excuse me, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the retirement of Barbara Ball as clerk to the justice from the Town of Poughkeepsie Justice Court effective January 30th, 2016, last day of employment. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
If I didn't see the second one, I would say she will be missed because she is quite sharp from the times I've met her. So thank God we are keeping her, but we wish her well for the short spell that she'll be retired.
You know, I think it's great somebody to work 45 years, and think that after 45 years you would just want to go.
Yeah, that's what I said to her, but more power to her. She wants to.
Yeah. The only question I have, since she's been working 45 years, I'm not sure if a job description is up to date, because obviously if she tomorrow decides to leave, and after 45 years working, and someone else comes in, we have to make sure that that task is intact. So I'm not sure.
The clerk to the justices are appointments.
Okay.
So they can appoint you, they can appoint me, they technically could appoint their mother. It's an appointment, correct? Mm-hmm. That's an exemption. So,
Sir, many of the duties are statutory, but if you want, I can check and see if we do the job description or civil service does it. It may be civil service, but I'll check.
it may be.
Yeah. After 45 years, it's probably full of dust. I don't know.
It's not a civil service position.
When I was a young cop, they hired me when I was 12. Barbara
Appointment, yeah.
started in the courts when Paul Sullivan was first elected, so she's been here a long time. Back in the day, we were busy, but it's increased exponentially over the years. And I sometimes think it's like the frog that you put in the cold water and turn the heat on, and it never jumps out till the water boils and kills it.
That's a good
I hope at some point she jumps out. She's tremendous at what she does over there.
We'll check Joe and make sure if there is a job description that is updated to what her current responsibilities
But
are.
congratulations to her 45 years. It's well.
Yeah. I want to thank her for that.
Gotta vote on it.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Where are we?
Number
11.
Okay. Bill? Mike?
Be resolved, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie, hereby appoint Barbara Ball to the permanent position of clerk to the justice at the yearly salary of $59,900 effective February 1st, 2016. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. All right, Joe, number 12?
Yep. Be resolved, the Town Board, the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint William Carlos as the delegate of Association of Towns. And be further resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize and approve the attendance of all elected and non-elected officials with prior Town Board approval to the annual meeting of the Associations of Towns. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Everybody sure about this? We're going out on a limb with this guy.
Wait for Jay.
What do you think? Yeah, that's right.
Can we table
Wait
this?
for
No.
Jay to be here? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Carlos.
Whereas the building department of the town of Poughkeepsie has, pursuant to Town Code 71-5, submitted an unsafe building investigation report dated January 12, 2016 to the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie regarding 51 Vassar Road, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, tax grid number 6260-04-565213, the premise. The owner of record being Oak Mill Plaza LLC, 14 Westerly Drive, New York City, New York.
New City.
Oh, New City, New City, New York, 109560, showing that the premise and the building on it are dangerous and unsafe to the general public, open at the doorways and windows, infested with insects, accessible to, and a haven for vagrants, trespassers, crime suspects, and illegal activity, and that they are unsanitary and present a health, fire, and public health hazard. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive a verbatim reading of attached investigative report and does hereby adopt said report and directs that they be spread across the record as if they, in fact, had been read verbatim, and be further resolved that a public hearing on the order and notice, including the recovery, levy, and collection of town expenses as an ad valorem levy, will be held before the town board on February 17th, 2016 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rock Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Number 14, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the town clerk to advertise for bids for mowing of town parks, mowing at the public buildings, the three I mentioned, and the maintenance of Route 9 and the Route 55 medians, pursuant to contract specifications to be prepared by the Recreation Department, which will be available on January 25th, 2016, at the office of the town clerk, with a pre-bid meeting to be held at 10 a.m. on February 11th, 2016, and a bid opening on February 23rd, 2016, at 11 a.m. at Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rock Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. Be it further resolved that the town clerk and the recreation director are further authorized to advertise for and include additional specifications for bids for mowing at Spakenkill School District properties, with any additional bids to be forwarded to and accepted or rejected by the Spakenkill School District. And be it further resolved that the right to accept or reject all bids in whole or part is hereby reserved. And be it further resolved that contracting for mowing services is part of the ongoing administration management of the Town of Poughkeepsie, and it is type 2 action under seeker requiring no environmental review. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Spakenkill had expressed an interest in maybe jumping on with our bid. We think if they are interested in having their properties maintained, on the outside the mowing, I think there will be a savings because of economies of scale for the bidding company. So at this point, it looks like they want to be a part of it, and so if that continues to be, we'll make sure the specs include their work as well. All right. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Bill?
Resolution 15. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby grant special consent to the following items, to wit: 1, authorize supervisor to sign a traffic control agreement with Dutchess Community College, and be it further resolved that upon the objection of any member of the Town Board, an item may be removed from the list and voted on separately. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the continuation of the traffic control agreement with Dutchess Community College effective from the date of the adoption of this resolution through the end of the college's spring 2016 semester, on the same terms and conditions as previously agreed, plus a supplemental overhead charge of 15%, which agreement may be canceled by either party on 30 days written notice. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. And that brings us to the end of our agenda. I'd like to make a motion to accept comment on town issues. All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone here who would like to address the board? Captain, it's your first official meeting in your new capacity. You have anything to say?
No, thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
And our controller's here, Jim. Anything you want to say?
Nothing.
All right, well, thank you for being here.
Jim,
All right.
We got anything?
All right, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Town board adjourns at 7:30 PM.